Everybody take a stand on grab a hand, my man. Put your brother up, put your brothers up. Put them all the way up. They can't believe we did it. We made it. They sitting over there living frustrated. They can't believe we found out we the natives. Now your ass gotta bounce. This thing on my house, and we about to take it. We about to take it. Ain't it ridiculous? It's so ridiculous. You made us all think we came here on slave ships, working great ships. Come to find out, we are the indigenous. We indigenous. To the land, my man, they try to run a scam. Now we in the truck, put our feathers up, and we don't give a what. Say what the what? Put your feathers up. Put your feathers up. Put your feathers up. Put your feathers up. Everybody take a stand and grab a hand, my man. Put your feather up. Put your feathers up. Put your feathers up. Put your feathers up. Put your feathers up. Everybody take a stand and grab a hand, my man. Put your feather up. Put your feathers up. Put them all the way up. It is about that time. We're going to get started with the live book study in a couple minutes. Thank you for joining. I'm going to share out the live, and we're going to enjoy some music in the meantime. Trying to find a way, searching for another hideaway. Broken glass in the alleyway, cigarettes burning ashtrays. Echoes of my past replays. Will this song take my pain away? If you feel it, don't turn away. This is my black sonata. Yeah, yeah. My black sonata. I'm caught up in the shades of gray. Medication where the pain lay. Hesitation can't make a way. Frustration in my day-to-day. Life in the games we play. Gotta pay for the things you say. If you feel it, don't turn away. This is my black sonata. Yeah. My black sonata. Working hard for the dollar, got us by the collar. City blocks getting hotter, made me just wanna holler. Government's talking lockdowns, but they know they can't knock down ancient memories and lockdown while listening to Black Sonata. My black sonata. Soul contracts. I think it's time we let this time lapse. You asked me to lead a window crack, but you could never really This is new music by Mama T. If you have not heard her new frequency music, you should check her out. She is on UB2B and TikTok. She also makes some really nice teas. Gotta support each other. Support. And I love this music. I'm happy to finally find some nice frequency music in my transition to change my music out. To surround myself with sounds that are more wholesome, with sounds that actually feed my soul and feed my frequency and my energy. So there are a few good artists on UB2B. I love Londrell and Tony Jones. They are two of my favorites that I've been listening to for the last 2 to 3 years. And so now I have something I can add to that because I'm constantly replacing music, if that makes sense. Like as you grow, you kind of find that even if you have artists that you love long time, you kind of start feeling a certain way when you listen to the music as you change your life, if you're excelling in the way that you're supposed to, right? So it definitely makes sense to constantly elevate your music because you're elevating everything else in your life, right? Hopefully we are. We're not just stagnant, because that elevation is important. So, hence the lovely, lovely frequency music. How you doing, Be Cool? Thank you for the roses. Thank you. So we are doing the genealogy workbook organizer book study today. Studying over... We're talking about genealogy pretty much because that's what it is, and it's a workbook. So we'll talk about it in a minute. Divine honors. Divine honors to the people. Divine honors to the universe, and divine honors to the sun. Let's get it. I want to shout out to this brand. I need to look it up, but it's called Ugly. And it's crazy because I heard about these women about 5 years ago that started this line of clothing to inspire other women. So it's another one of those brands that is impactful and inspiring. It means you gotta love you. So it's turning those words into affirmations and twisting the way that you look at certain words. And I think that's important. I was in a live and somebody was breaking down the female dog word and like, this is what it means to me. And I think that's unique for us to find our own meaning for stuff, if it works for you, you got to find what works for you. And it might not work for everybody, but if it works for you, it works, right? And that's all that matters. That's all that matters, baby. In my New Orleans swing, even though I'm not from New Orleans. So let's start off with a poem. I said I'm going to start every live with a poem if I can remember. So this poem is called Conscious. I think this is really fitting for genealogy, right? Snap, snap, snaps, virtual snaps. Don't bat your eyes at me and tell me I'm free in this white versus black society. We reside in the great proprieties, seeking truth in between the entities of what I'm told and what I believe. Don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. My third eye is open and I'm remaining conscious. Conscious of my surroundings, conscious of my history, and conscious of all that is me. Don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. Run that back. My third eye is open and I'm remaining conscious.
Conscious of my history, conscious of my surroundings, and conscious of all that is me. Don't take my rights and expect me not to put up a fight. Don't steal land and history from me and then look down on me. You dummy, material things never define me. That's why we are as strong as we could be. Our heart is pure and our soul is free. You attempted to conquer an ideal me, and we multiplied the thought of adversity. So you will never reach the conscious me. Sorry, but not sorry. Snap, snap, snaps. Snap, snap, snaps. That one's called Conscious. I have another one. Let me see. Another one's very relatable. I don't do this poem that much, but I like this one. Like sometimes I have to go through them and remember all the stuff that I wrote. This poem is called Answer Me This. Answer me this. Try to puff my hair out. It didn't got so weird in the front. Like this gray hair is weird. Weird. But anyway. Snap, snap, snaps. Answer me this. Virtual snaps. Thank you for joining, Baby Red. Ashe, ashe. I was propositioned with a disposition that insulted my intelligence. My melanin questioned by a selected few. Meddling in my business. No need to quiz this. I'm a whiz with my words. My confirmation is confirmed. A hooked bookworm. No need to squirm behind my terms, but if it makes you uncomfortable, this probably ain't the place for you. You see, my goal is to expose the truth. No need to cater to my kindness. Everyone's not inclined to dine with the BS. You'll get chewed up and spit out because taking the white route ain't always the right route, not when you choose to speak about something you'll never understand. And if I hear go back to your own land one more time, I promise I'm gonna snap. You must have been taking your afternoon nap when history repeated itself and Christopher Columbus rediscovered America. Or maybe you believe that bogus-ass lesson in history. That's why I decided to give you this backlash and lyrically. Slave owners, we're going to put that in parentheses, were cowards to me, no matter what color or race you were. Making someone else do and live for their needs, feeding to their greed, whipping, graping, and unaliving as if we are the ones that are beneath. So why the plastic surgery? Why the tanning excessively? Why the injections constantly? To look and be just like me. Why? Because I am the original queen. And that's what that is. Queen, or let's say Miss Elizabeth. Well, yeah, the indigenous woman, the original. That would be what that is, if you didn't know. Peace, love, and light, Rod Riches. How are you? Peace, love, and light. So I have one more before we talk about the book. And this one's called The Mystery of Me. The Mystery of Me. Snap, snap, snaps. My story is a mystery, but his story is supposedly history, depending on what you choose to believe. So many puzzles involved on how this melanin evolved. No secret needed a story deeper than my ancestors teaching, weeping, and barely getting by after colonization on basic needs. Melanin produced dark brown roots, a pigment of truth. It's what the current curriculum won't teach our youth. So many mysteries of the past. How long will these lies last? Because my descendants' bloodshed can no longer be masked. Kings and queens, princes and princesses, gods and goddesses of royalty. It's no longer a mystery that refers to you and me. And we can no longer believe everything we read about our history. Snap, snap, snaps. Snap, snap, snap. So that ends the poetry session. And we say all that about history just to say that we need to do our own, right? And that's where the genealogy comes in. You do your own research. We don't believe what we're told anymore. We do have options to dig into the research ourselves. And there's many ways that you can go, many routes that you can take. I myself am not a genealogist. That is not what the book is about. I cannot lead you to your family. And I'm sad to say that if that was what you were hoping when you purchased the book. It is a workbook organizer. So this is for you to document the research that you find. This is a good way to keep it all in one place. This is a good way to pass this book on to family members. This is a good way to pass it down, as have it with the other important books and important paperwork and documents, so it's all in one place. And everything that you find, you can compare notes with other family, and y'all can get it all together and all in one place, so it is organized and it is understood. I personally started with the companies that are currently being sued, because they are full of all of it. We know that now sending in your DNA is not the route to go. So please don't get me wrong when it comes to the route that I took. At the time, I did not know what was the best route to take. And I did go the Ancestry route. I actually done both Ancestry and 23andMe. Because I was just really curious, and I wanted to see what they were going to come up with compared to what I already knew, and if it was going to match. Like, I'm that person. And yeah, it's a waste of money, so don't do it. But the good thing about it that I can say, reflecting back, after spending my money, because I did not get my money back. So, the good thing that came out of it is that I'm still getting hits to this day, and other family members that use that same tool, I'm able to connect with because they went that same route. So it cannot connect you to land, but it can connect you to other family. So we have been able to build our tree stronger from these other family members that I've connected with. So that it helped a lot in that manner. And that's only when I learned how to use it, because for a long time it sat there, and then I realized once I got to learning stuff, and from the research that I found right here on TikTok by following Earth, all the history that we found, it made me go back into it. And then I started noticing, I started getting hits on my family, and it was giving me documents. So once I started learning, like, okay, like those marriage certificates, those death certificates, the census records, all of those are the documents that you need, but you have to go in and you have to know how to decipher this, decipher that. And you have to know how to go in and dig a little deeper. So in those documents, you get, say for instance, we're talking about the birth certificates. You get your, so if, for instance, my grandmother, I got my grandmother's birth certificate. So I got her parents' names, which I already had their names, but sometimes with some generations or some nationalities, like, you might have a nickname. You might not even have the full name. You might, they called him Joe Blow, or they called him, you know what I'm saying? They called him Rick the Rock, just some craziness, and it not be their birth name, because, okay, you went by this or you went by that, and you didn't, you don't have that name that's on paper, right? So a lot of times that's the problem, because, okay, I called him cousin Leroy, and Leroy wasn't even his name, or we called him BJ, but what did BJ mean? So those are the details that we need to know that we don't always get. And yeah, so you found your cousin, be cool. That's good. And I found a lot of cousins and a lot of extended family that got separated. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, so it's a lot that happened that I didn't have history on, and it was just some family that just was separated, or some family that moved off and lost contact. So it's a beautiful thing to find that connection. So that's how I started. And with that, I was able to go in, and I actually gave my book to my mom because I wanted her to start the book. and for us to go in and finish or fill in what we found out. But I realized that sometimes, depending on how the household is set up, you might need your own book or have your own notes because say for instance, my mom, she would do the history on her parents, but I'm doing the research on my parents, which includes her, but it includes my whole dad's side, which is not her family. So if you think about that, if you have your grandmother do her own research and, y'all combine that research, she's going to have people, when you have people married in, it adds that extension, you know what I'm saying? And when you think about that, everybody won't have that on theirs, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not their family. So my whole dad's side wouldn't be in my mom's book. She would have her dad's side and so forth and so on. So the good thing is to find it. And the more you find out, the better you feel. Kobe. Okay, the dog is barking. Yeah, I have company, and he hasn't been very happy since I picked him up. But we gonna get along. Look, I love me some dogs, and and it had long nights, to say the least. But I have my back door open, and I think he's hearing stuff, so he's trying to get adjusted. But yeah. So, how did you find your cousin? Be cool. Was it through the research and through your genealogy research? #21 me, yeah. Yeah, I found a lot of cousins. And like my dad has a huge family. So I found a lot of people on that side and family on my mom's side. So, the maternal and the paternal. So let's go through what this book includes. It has, yeah, you find people, but you ain't finding nothing else. So I kind of made the best of it since I'd already made the investment. And I mean, I'm glad I was able to find that. But then you kind of question, like, okay, I didn't send my DNA out, like, but it's done, I know now. I'm glad I know now. It's not a good feeling when you learn stuff later and then you find out they've been sued. Like, how many of y'all cut me a check too? You know where to send it. You have all the information. But this book includes 4 generational ancestral charts. So you can build a chart for 5 separate families. It has a vintage tree line for your closest relatives. So you can make your family tree with your immediate family. It has 6 separate family trees, so you can extend that out, for generations. 5 generational fan charts, 1 side for each spouse's family. So you can assign a number to your ancestors if you like to as well. It has 10 parental pedigree pages and 10 maternal pedigree pages and 10 research pages for particular ancestors that you might be looking for and need extra room to write. And there are journal pages in there as well. So it's a good book to have to document your genealogy if that's what you're looking to do to extend your knowledge on your family history. Like, some of us really care about it and some people don't care at all, and that's okay too if you don't care about where you came from. I just question, like, if you don't know where you came from, how you know where you're going? That's just been one question that I've always had, because a lot of people just be like, so why are you stuck on that? Because I want to know. And the same reason why you stuck on what you stuck on. Like, we all have our interests in our areas, and I just feel like don't hate me because I want to know where I came from. I feel like it'll make me more rounded in where I'm going. And when I find out all of this, and then you had them same people coming back to you like, well, you know what I'm saying? Well, what? And it's like, no, remember what you said when you said what you, yeah, go on and stay over there with your ugliness. Cause I don't have time for that. Like I'm on this for a reason. And I felt like I was born into this. This has been something that has been a concern of mine for as long as I can know. So if it's that serious to me, respect that. Like, and don't keep asking me questions about it. If you don't want to keep hearing poems about history, then change the channel. It's that simple. Look, swipe left, swipe right, swipe up, swipe down, swipe out. It's that easy. Yeah. And yeah, swipe clueless, because that's what you are. And it's so sad that we have people out here that's just willing to be ignorant. It's one thing for us to be lost because we didn't know no better, but once you get that opportunity to know better, why not do better? Why not extend that research so you could be in a better place mentally, and you won't just be lost in knowledge that's not your own, or that has no factual evidence, or nothing to back it but bull. Come on, it don't make sense. And they say it, but it ain't making sense. It just, the math ain't math, and so it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't, right? So I think that's why genealogy is important. I have this book is actually in a hard copy as well, which I actually created these images with AI, and I thought they came out pretty good. I was pretty proud of them, you know what I'm saying, for it to be my first time working with AI, and being able to just create something my own. The budget is real around here when it comes to trying to hire somebody for every task that I have right now. It just, it is what it is. So you try to do the best you can to make sure that you're creating a product that is appeasing, and hopefully y'all like it. I hope y'all like it, and I like it too. I know you probably can't see. This is the back. It came out really tribal, and I like that. Like, look at that. Look at those kids. Look, that's the baby. That's Nana. Look, we got generations over here. Nana, grandma. And then what? This reminds me of Mama T's song, the Feathers Up. It's hard to show it on the screen, but let me see. I think I can change this, maybe background, make it a little bigger. But yeah, AI is kind of cool trying to, when you're playing with it and you learn how to figure stuff out a little bit. It really can create some really amazing things. The only thing that they say about it is that you don't really own the rights to it, as far as in particular, like, and that's why you create it, and then you go in and you edit it to your preference, so it's not that exact thing that you got from AI, and that way no one else will be able to reproduce what you produced. So you have to learn how to use the same tools that they would use against us, or try to hold against us, and use them for our own benefit, right? Is that better? That's kind of better. I don't really know how to shrink the picture, but yeah. So genealogy is finding your history, your connection to your people, documenting and getting the family involved. It would be nice to schedule, like, maybe once a month you can get or, every 2 weeks or whatever is convenient for your family. Or if y'all already getting together, maybe spend 30 minutes together, writing down some things that everybody knows. I was just talking to I Am Wisdom yesterday, and we were talking about recipes, because I think it would also be good to add some recipes and stuff in the back of there where you have those notes. That way you're not just putting in, okay, this my cousin, this my granny, this my, you know what I'm saying? Write down granny's recipes and add them to the back. My granny had a banging hot water cornbread recipe, and wouldn't that be beautiful to pass that down to my grandchildren and your grandchildren, like all those amazing recipes? I think the health issues are very important. People don't think about how, you being a diabetic is important for the next generation to come to know, you know what I'm saying, the health issues of their ancestors and of the family members that came before them, so they know when they're faced with stuff, okay, this might be what I need to look out for, or this might be the area that I need to target when it comes to my family history. So it's so many different things that should be documented, I think. I think it just helps the next generations to come, so they're not totally clueless about the family history. Like, only your grandmother knows what happened when she was little and what her and her brothers would do, and her mom, you know what I'm saying, cooked. Or what if we talking about remedies and herbs that were healing? Like, there's room for all of that in the back of the book. And I just put notes because I want you to put whatever works for you and your family. But I think the recipes would be amazing. A very good way to not only pass down that knowledge of family, but passing down some of the intricate details of granny's, you know what I'm saying, secrets, that people don't think about until granny's no longer here, or, you know what I'm saying, granny not cooking no more, and you asking granny for the recipes and she can't remember everything, or, you know what I'm saying. You never know. There's also a section in here for questions to ask your family if you're passing the book back and forth. And there's vital questions that you might want to know, or you think might be important for future generations. You can put some questions in there. Or if you think there's questions that they might want to ask you, you can propose the question and answer it and have it there. Like, tidbits of you all throughout the book. The research pages show you or give you places to document information that you searched, information that you already know, so that way you can kind of compare the information, because that'll come in handy down the line, really, when you're comparing notes, because the information might be what your cousin knew too, and maybe it's a nickname or something, and it might match that search information, but it might confirm some information too. So it's good to have all that documented. There's also room to write down sources so that you can let your family know where you got this information from. That way, you're providing them a resource to go back to if they're digging a little deeper, because you never know, how technology could expand. That information could change tomorrow, or it could not be there. Like, of course, it could change in a good way or a bad way. So that's something we have to consider. There is room to write an action plan. There is room to write contacts. So it is just very beneficial, giving you all the spots and all the different trees and diagrams to just plug in the information. And that's why it's called an organizer, so it can help you organize your life Look, organize your genealogy, not your life, but your history and everything that comes with your beautiful family and your extended family as well. That's why it might be good to add to it. And you can also, like I always, if you have to add more pages to it instead of getting another book, you can add pages to it and staple it to the back. You know what I'm saying? That way it's in there. Like any documents you find can always be put in like a Ziploc bag if it's a sensitive document. It's always good to make multiple copies of those sensitive documents too. Because if you know anything about our ancestors, they didn't give us original copies to anything. I promise you, I didn't get my original birth certificate until I was like 35. Like, my mom was giving me a copy for a long time. And it's important to keep those original documents safe. So, making at least 10 copies of those documents and putting in a copy and having that original somewhere else in a safer place. But I always think about the Ziploc bags because they're a good size, and if it's a sensitive document that you want to preserve and you can't laminate it, just put it in a Ziploc bag and staple it to the inside of the book. That way, you're providing information. You can put it on the outside too. That way, the book will close. But once you get to a point where you filled up the book and you want to add to it, that's a good way to add. I didn't say names would determine tribal lineage. We would need to hear me and listen clearly to understand. So when you document it, all the information that you find from your family, it's good to have it in one place and good to organize it so that you know your true history, and as you find it, you have it all in one place and you can share it with your family as you go through your family dinners and stuff. It's a good tabletop conversation to have. And it's one of those that we don't think about until it's too late. So that's why I always talk about starting to do that stuff early and making sure that you have stuff documented and stuff before you get to a point where it's a must do. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to know, and the more you research, it's good to document, because they say if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So ain't no use of having this whole mind full of all this information and never writing it down or documenting it, because it's like you gatekeeping your own family. Like, you have these family members that you be like, so, you know what I'm saying? What's grandpa's real name? And they be like, stay in grown folks' business. It's like, dang, you know what I'm saying? I just want to know who my grandpa is. And it's like, Granny, are you a gatekeeper? And the reality is, Granny, we know you was young and you lived a life, but we don't care how wild you was, Granny. We just want to know who our pappy is, like who our grandpappy is, who our uncle is. Like, so the fact that they get mad, it's like, okay, fam, now we need to have counseling. Because now we need to go a little deeper and question, why are you mad? And the thing is, it could be something worth talking about, not to even laugh it off, because it could be deeper than that. We've been through a lot as a people. So flip side of that is that it could be something totally different that they don't want to talk about. And if you don't want to talk about it, Granny, write about it. Write about it and put it up. Put it in that safe. So, it's there and somebody could find it later. You could fill out this whole book and put it up if that's the case. And it's a touchy subject that you don't want to talk about. The information still needs to be passed down. It's still vital to the family to know. Because one thing I know for sure is I don't know who my grandfather is. I know the man that raised me as Papa, but I know for sure that he's not my blood grandpa. And I would like to know that information. And if I will ever know that information determines the research I do, because I was not given that information from my grandmother. And it is what it is. Do I like it? No. But for some reason, that information was not given. And Love you to death, Granny. But the story of he ran to get some bread, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, what was his name? You know what I'm saying? What something? Give us something. Just something. Like, please. And thank you. We love you for it. Really, really. And that's why I flipped it. Cause sometimes it could be more vital than, you know what I'm saying, just, a wild story from, a wild life or a wild night. So, we know it could be both ways because we study this all the time. So, not to make light of it at all. We know how that happens. The point that I was trying to make is that it still needs to be talked about. And that's what that's why the subject is so touchy, because there's healing in communicating whatever it was. And even if it's one of those secrets that we keep as a family, let the family in. Allow us to have that. Because whatever happened, you know what I'm saying? We know that that a time will come for all of that and to pay for all of that. You know what I'm saying? We still just want to know whatever it is that and you can remember, So it's a beautiful thing to document it, but it gets into some touchy subjects sometimes, and that's why it's hard to bring up at the dinner table, and it's hard to bring up on Sunday cookouts because somebody's gonna get in their feelings about it, and it's like, but unconditional love and communication is what it is. So let's get it out, let's talk about it, and let's break bread at the same time. But it's still a conversation that needs to be had, so that everybody's on one page and understand who we all truly are. And it's important. It's important for the generations to come. Yeah. So, and I think that's why people's digging so much, because we just want to know. We just want to know. We know that our roots go deep. We know it by the things that we've experienced. That's that deja vu that they talk about. Or just memories and dreams and stuff that we just sometimes we feel it in our bones and we don't know why, and it's because we so deeply rooted in it that we can't just dismiss it. Like we want to know, and we don't care what's been burned or buried or flooded. We want to know, and we're gonna keep on digging until we find out, and that just it is what it is. So genealogy workbook organizer. It can be found on Amazon, amazon.com/Arthur/Donutria. I also have them as well, so I can also ship them out. So let's do some more poetry. Poetry. And then we'll slide into this other book study. What time is it? Okay. We're going to wrap this up in about 15 minutes so I can stop the live and then restart it so I can have separate videos. It's so much easier to do that instead of trying to save those videos and chop them. And oh my gosh, I'm not good at that. And I will just post. Perfection does not exist. And I do not care about a perfect video. Did you get the information? Did you get it? Okay. Did you hear the message? Okay. Don't mind all don't mind all the madness in the background, because for some reason I couldn't get it right. Look, but I felt like I wanted to share the message so bad I posted it anyway. Yes, sis. Keep doing your research, and energy and vibrations don't lie. Keep searching. Yes, it's important. And it's good to know. It's good to know where you came from, so you know where you're going. Look, and people can say all day long they don't want to know. Well, you stay stuck over there with that stagnant water. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but I wants to know. And I think it's important for me to know. Important for me to grow. That's a poem. That's a poem within itself. So let me see. I'm going to do... I was going to close it out with salvation. No, I'm super spontaneous. And even though I plan out a lot, sometimes I just want to do something spontaneous. It's important to just let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow. I think it's more authentic when you let it flow. Because if I write it all down, then it's going to be scripted. And y'all going to be like, is she reading the whole... Yeah, I don't want it to be like that. And it's crazy because I came from some very perfectionist people, and I refuse. Nope. I'm going to accept my imperfections, and I'll bask in them. And I love that about me because, you know, I'm imperfect. And I'm perfectly imperfect. Rest in peace. R.I.P. It made me think about that song. Okay. Snap, snap, snaps. This poem is called Rest in Peace. Rest in peace, childhood trauma, negativity, hatred. Rest in peace, regret, doubt, failure. Rest in peace, self-loathing, self-pity, and self-destruction. Rest in peace, no, I'm only accepting yeses. Rest in peace, those who bask in closing doors on others. Rest in peace, outlandish thinking. Rest in peace, struggle. Who? What? When? Where? Rest in peace, everything coming for me that I didn't send for. Rest in peace, can't. I can do all things possible as long as I trust. Rest in peace, ungratefulness. I'm counting and acknowledging all my greatness every day. Rest in peace, bullies, and everyone looking to push someone around. Rest in peace, racist, racism, white power, and all who judge based on race and creed. Rest in peace, anything coming to hold me down. Rest in peace, broken crown. You've been replaced. Snap, snap, snaps. Thank you, Universal Starseed. Thank you for the heart me. Oh, if y'all haven't got y'all's heart me, will y'all hit that little heart at the top of the screen? It helps the live do something. And then helps some other stuff that helps me out. So I appreciate the help. Look, it helps this, and then it helps that, and then, yeah, all that good stuff. Appreciate you. And people always talk about the For You page, and I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna tell you how much I know about it. I don't know nothing about it. But you do want your message to, reach as many people as possible. I'm just a firm believer that, like, it's gonna reach who it was meant to reach. So, and it is what it is. So if we meant for the For You, then we'll be for the For You. But whatever. I'm just really here to release the message and let it fly. Hope somebody catch it. Next poem is called Salvation. Last poem for this book study. Genealogy workbook organizer. Book study. Salvation. Snap, snap, snaps. Virtual snaps. Elevation is my salvation. Manifesting what's in the making. All is good for the taking. In tune with my third eye straight awakened. Not a thought or a minute given for the fake ones. Put your fist in the air if you win it for one nation. Because together is the only way we gonna make it. Peace to the nation. And that's gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna stop the live and then I'm gonna restart it so we can start the When the Earth Speaks book study. That way I can have separate videos. Thank you for the hearts. Is it Jantrice? Jantrice? That's very pretty. Is that your name? I hate to jack it up, but if I got it right, I like it. Look, if I didn't, I just renamed you, and it's pretty anyway. Like, either way, your name is beautiful. I be trying with people's names because my name is long, and my mom was like, "Oh, it's a French twist to this and that," and J Trace. Okay, got you. Yeah, see, my bad. And my name is Danitria El Tourné. When I tell you, it's like, and then I actually, I respelled it, and she been telling me for a long time, you're not spelling it right. And I'm like, but this, it flows better. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, yeah, the I should come before the O or something, and I just been spelling it wrong ever since. Well, oh well. I told her it was my pen name. I don't know. But snaps. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, J Trace. Ja Trace. Ja. My bad. Did I say it wrong again? I appreciate you. I appreciate the roses. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Go get your genealogy workbook organizer. It is on Amazon. Hit the link in my bio, or you can DM me if you would like a signed copy. It comes in a hard copy and a soft copy, a paperback. And it starts at like $11. It's very reasonable. And support your peoples. That being said, divine honors to the sun. Divine honors to the people. Divine honors to the community. Because, if you didn't know, I'm 100 community. 100% community. And that's it. That's all I care about. This history and community and nothing else. But my family, that TikTok-wise. This history and community. That's all I care about TikTok-wise. So, public service announcements. My community. Whoever that may be. And they, like it's been said, they come in all sizes, shades, and colors. We's a beautiful people. So thank y'all for joining. I'm going to chime out. I'm going to chime right back in so we can start the True History of the Americas book study. Peace, love, and light.